We're photographing my pre-fall collection, which is kind of opposite of what the merchandise has looked like for pretty much the entirety of the year thus far. Everything up until now has been more colorful, more bright, and vibrant, but this collection is more neutral. It's more, a little bit more minimalistic, but the fabrics are different, the stretch is different, the overall look of the content, of the merchandise is totally different than what my audience is primarily used to. So we're photographing these acid wash pieces today. I'm going to basically check the space out and think through how I want the pictures to look. So I always basically take like a test shot and imagine like myself standing in that space, but I also want to make sure that the lighting is appropriate. My husband, he takes all my pictures. He's not a professional photographer, but he gets the job done. So it's helpful to him if I can explain to him exactly what I want it to look like, if I envision it first.
I'm Derek, our husband, as Jansen, her followers like to call him. Behind the scenes guy that helps out where I'm needed, pretty much. Like I take photos, so I go, I pack orders, I make runs to the post office to get the returns out of the P.O. box, clean up, straighten inventory, I straighten inventory, just things of that nature. It's pretty much where I can help out to help, make her job a little easier.
If posing is also not your thing, you just need to know what your signature poses are. I have knock knees and I hate them. It's like one of my little insecurities. So for me, I always have basically like 4 signature things that I do in almost every picture. 1 hand on hip, 2nd hand on hip, knee propped out. You got a little hip, you could do a little hip action or whatever. That's about it. Cross legs, hands, still same places. Play with hair a little bit. That's it, that's all I got. And that's all you need. You don't need anything too crazy.
When you do this right, look, I can't get the natural lighting to come on. So bam, if I hit it down to come up, boom, it popped for a minute. You just gotta be quick with the snap when you do it. It's kinda, it worked for me sometimes.
Creating content with my husband is quite the task sometimes, but fun sometimes as well. My toes look curled up.
I can't see your toe.
You can't see my foot? Why my foot ain't in it? Should I scoot back?
No, I can go back.
Should I sit up here?
No, you straight. You right.
Why are you smiling? Is that good? What you mean you don't know? Look at my toes. Look at my toes. What's happening down there? What's happening there? No. Wait, look at him on both feet. Like, what is that?
Well, you tell me.
What is that? Wait, why is my whole foot? You
gotta ask yourself that.
So.
You gotta ask yourself that.
I really enjoy the fact that I don't have to coach him most of the time and tell him like what things need to look like anymore, what the angle needs to be, or how to position the phone as he's taking my picture. He's kind of gotten it. He understands now.
It's cool, like, for her to direct me. But when she get to critiquing too much, she kind of get under my skin, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm over this, and I'm over you. Deuces, I'll let you.
On a bad day, we would be tired of each other by now. Be like, dude, you good? Okay, I'm good. Let's be done.
Yeah.
Sayonara.
We kind of getting like, better with this.
Be like, deuces, you have a good day.
I'll let you later. We have our days where we having fun, then we have our days where we over each other. Like, let's hurry up and get this over with. Or sometimes we might even wrap it up early. You know what, we're gonna try this again another day. Type of situation, It ain't all good, but we get through it, We get through it.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? You're getting on my nerves. Your son is obsessed with Stella Rosa now. Is Stella Rose or Stella Rosa? What is it? Stella Rose?
Hey, quit putting my business out there. I think I'm gonna try that.
Like twins.
Twins?
How we look like twins? How?
Let me finish my joke.
It's a joke?
Y'all head fat as hell.
Hey, you know what? Get off my line, Big Breezy. Love you. Holla at you.
Me and my husband, we're cool. We're buddies. Like, we are, like, I call him Big Dog. He calls me Big Dog. I call him Little Dog. We're homies. And I think, you know, what really works well for us is that we were friends first. Even when we were working together, we were friends. We made sure that we showed up for one another. Even though I was his boss at the time, he was literally my most reliable employee.
Our bond was formed over work, because like I was like her most reliable employee there, you know. And that's only editing. I really didn't even want to work there, to be honest. I just took a liking to her, and then I ain't want to leave her on stuck like everybody else was doing. So then us spending more time, our bond just grew stronger without really noticing. One thing led to another.
He would show up when I needed him. When people didn't show up for work, he was there, and he's still that person to this day. So because our relationship started from a place of friendship, now with us still working with one another, we still have that same, you know, that same dynamic between us. We still can play around with one another. We still can have fun, but find those moments where we need to be serious and where we need to get the job done.
It's up, it's down, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. The last picture, that's my favorite part, the last picture. I know it's over with.
5 tips for creating content in Airbnb. Number 1, look for one that has windows, lots of windows. It's so much easier if you have natural light windows. Number 2, look for one that has lots of decor options, because you can move it around, you can create different settings that you can take the images in, and you don't have to just stay in one spot, and every spot won't look exactly the same. Number 3, I would say look for somewhere that matches the aesthetic of your brand. If your brand is vibrant and colorful, look for a space that matches that. If it's more minimalistic, look for a space that's more simple, more clean, more just open, white, neutral. Number 4, I would say don't look for one that's too big, because if you get one that's too big, you're gonna overthink how you're gonna take the pictures and what the settings are gonna look like. And you're gonna try to use all that space, and then ultimately you're gonna have a bunch of content and you're not gonna be able to figure out how to make it all work or how to make sense of it all. So don't look for a space that's too big. And number 5, bring a photographer that you don't have to coach. Bring someone who just knows what it needs to look like. Someone that you work well with, that you don't have to do too much explaining to, because you want to be able to maximize your time and make the most of your investment. So yeah, those would be my 5 tips. Do those things. In the beginning, I didn't have a lot of space. When I started my online boutique, I was, if I'm not mistaken, still living with my sister. Me and my younger sister were living together. We lived in a little townhouse duplex with one another, and we had absolutely no space. You know, I couldn't create the content, let alone house the product. So it was like, you choose one. So in the beginning, I used to rent a local studio for like $25 an hour to create my content. And I knew nothing about taking photos. I had only taken pictures with my phone. I had only taken selfies, or you take pictures with your girls when you're all looking good going out. So I pretty much taught myself what it meant to create content for a brand, what it meant to photograph clothes with the purpose of selling it. It wasn't me, trying to take a picture that I could share on my personal page anymore. It was me trying to show the right angles of an item. Me by myself having to, take a picture and then run over and look at it and say, okay, no, I need to turn more this way, or I need to come closer so that they can see the detail in the sweater, or that they can tell that there's a zipper back there. I had to learn it all by myself. All right, so we gotta go plan some stuff. So this is the board. This is where it all happens. This is where I do all the planning, mapping the numbers so we can make the big money at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, and at the end of the year. So these numbers are for quarter one as I was planning quarter two, but now we need to talk about quarter three and plan for Black Friday, and Magic is coming up. So we're about to map it all out, plan the numbers, and plan, you know, how we're gonna make $500,000 by the end of the year. Let's do it, okay. So I'm headed to Magic soon, and that means a lot to my business. It means that it is time for me to really carve out exactly what I want to spend my money on. Magic is not the type of place that you want to go to without a plan. It is extremely easy for you to get there, get extremely overwhelmed. You might overbuy, you know, you overspend, you're buying things you don't truly need simply because you're overwhelmed with the amount of options that you have. So it's really important to take the time to plan out exactly what you want to buy. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make sure that I'm really clear about not only what I want to buy, but how much I want to spend, how much I want to spend across different product categories, and why that really matters, why I should be making sure that I'm spending, you know, a larger amount here versus a smaller amount on something else, and being able to clarify that these are the best decisions for my ability to hit my revenue goals in the month of November. I know my top selling item is my sweatpants. And next after sweatpants is matching sets for me. So I'm gonna try to figure out basically how much I'm gonna spend on matching sets. And the third top thing for my business is, I'm gonna say bottoms in general, but I have to figure out what those bottoms are gonna be. Oops, I don't like that. I have to figure out what bottoms are gonna be our thing for November. This is the importance of planning things out. It's a lot easier when you see things on a board versus trying to, you know, write it out on paper or just pull a number out your brain and it not actually be based on anything. So I always like to use a board to actually visualize it. It helps me to bring it to life and make sense of my desires versus it just being a thought in my brain and not actually being possible. So that was exciting to see that actually worked out like that. Now I just need to figure out how I'm gonna sell the merchandise that I buy in order to make my $82,000 or my $96,000 in November. It's very cool. My mother called and was like, so what are you doing today? Like, why are you filming? What's happening? And I'm like, I'm filming a freaking docuseries. About what? About me, about my work. Like, it's amazing. Why? Because I want to. So she told me I need to shout her out. So shout out to you, Mom. Because you the boss. You the real boss here. She is the Kris Jenner to my Kimberly Kardashian. She's the Kris Jenner to my Kylie Jenner, period. Biggest support system. She does the things, helps the things happen. It's my girl. It's my girl.